In this presentation, we will take a look at the calculation of the present value of an annuity with months as opposed to years as the time period. The data will be up top. We have the periods in terms of months as opposed to years, those being 3 months as opposed to 3 years. We have the payment amount and the rate. 3 ways we could do this. We could do this with formulas, we can do this with tables, and we can do it with Excel. We'll be taking a look at the tables and Excel here. So if we look at the tables to the right, note what we have. We've got the rate up top. We've got the periods to the left side, neither of them referring to whether we're talking about months, years, or some other time period. As long as the two periods are the same in format, then we're okay. So the rate up top then, in other words, needs to be in months, and so does the periods. The periods are what they are. We can't really change them in the table. The rate then is what we typically will change. So in our example, we have 12% on the rate. We're going to take that 12% divided by 12 to get the monthly rate. Remember that if you're using tables, then book problems often avoid the use of the percents that are going to be uneven, or even the use of periods other than years, because it's quite possible we get a percent that's not even, and therefore we couldn't use the tables. So in our case, we're going to use 12 divided by 12 will be 1, so we can use the tables. So then we have the number of periods are going to be here, and then when we pick up the table information, let's do that again. When we pick up the table information, we have to use 1% as opposed to the 12% way on the other side, and then we're going to have the periods, which will be 3. So we're picking up these 2.9410. That's what we want. We want to pick up the 2.9410. That's going to be the table amount. So the payments will be 10,000, and the table amount is going to be the 2.9410, and that'll give us the present value of the annuity. So we'll have the present value of the annuity, which will equal the 10,000 times the 2.9410. Okay, so that's going to be the only difference here with the calculation. We got to be mindful that the percentage needs to be in alignment with the periods that we're using for the periods, in this case months. Now we can do that same thing with Excel. In Excel, we can go to the function up top. So we're going to be in this cell, B12. We'll go to the formulas up top. We'll go to the insert function, and we want to go to the present value. So we're looking for the present value function, and we'll say OK. And then we're going to enter our information into our function arguments, and we have the rate. The rate is going to be that 12%. Here's the key point. We're going to take the 12% and divide it by 12. Now note that if we had some rate other than 12, if it was like 10% or something, or 2%, and we divide it by 12 and come up to some really small number, that's okay within Excel. We can have some monthly number that's really small, not a problem to work with within Excel. It is a problem with the tables. So that's why in practice, it is something that could come up, and not an issue really if we're using Excel. If we're doing a book problem, it could be an issue because we typically need even percentages in order to work with them. We see the 0.01, the 1% is what we will be having for the rate, and then the number of periods is going to be 3. Number of periods is in terms of months. How do we know? Not from anything within the function argument, but because the rate is in months, and therefore the period will follow along with that and be in months. And then we're going to take the payment amount. That's going to be the 10,000. So 10,000 payment amount. That gives us the negative 29,409. Negative 29,409. If we say OK, it's going to give us a negative number. If I'm double clicking on that, I'm going to put a negative before the P to flip the sign. And there we have it. Now we could just type this in if we so choose, and it's not too difficult to do that. We'll say equals negative present value. And then we'll go through this argument down below. The rate up top is in B4, 12% divided by 12. And then we'll say comma, and we'll go to the next argument, which is the number of periods, B2, which is 3. And then we'll go comma, and then go to the next argument, which is the payment, which is, of course, the 10,000, and enter.